Hello, folks. Welcome to what is today's date? What is the date?
13.
May 13, 2020. Real quick on this day in history, Ernie Banks hit his 500th home run. So if you're a Cub fan, there you go. So I thought I'd throw that out there. This isn't going to be a long gathering. I felt more important that was our department.
Got Tom, too.
Oh, Tom? Is Tom here? All right. And hi, Tom. And Karen and Miss Helen, I thought it was important that we at least send out people. We can be forgotten as a department. I firmly believe it. But people with Little League and festivals and farmers markets and Fridays at the fort, you know, when you don't have those little diversions in your life, if you have kids and the like, you kind of go, wow. So I thought it was important that we take care of some informational material tonight. And I told Eric, I wanted everyone to know, yes, city employees are getting paid, and high five to Jimmy Hennigan's street department crew out and about, you know, fixing potholes, our fire police making sure they just do what they do. We know that, but our Parks Department folks are still cutting the grass. You know, they're collecting the trash. RJ's crew is great. Maybe they're not lining fields or getting things ready for a soccer, baseball activity, but they're still doing their thing. You know, unfortunately, Dee and Eric are having to refund money. I just wanted to know, there's a hit taken by this department right now, but we are still functioning, and we are planning for when we get out of this, it'll be great. We're going to come out here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months from now, whatever it is. It's exciting, and we're still functioning here, and we're going to make things happen. So I thought it was important the city know that we're out here swinging away. So real quick, everybody got the minutes way back on March 11th. It's hard to believe. Excuse me for wearing the baseball hat, but I haven't had a haircut since the end of February. I'm just glad to have hair, but I'm going with the ball cap. But if you had a chance to read the March 11th minutes, we need to approve those. And thank you, folks. Thank you to the city of Lawrence, you know, the IT folks and all their meetings are putting on. So if you've looked at them, I'd entertain a motion here, and then we will move on. Anyone?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor of accepting the minutes from March 11th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, I'm going to combine 3 and 4 together, and folks on the board, you know, your questions. I told Eric, when I was yelling at him on Monday, me yelling at Eric, it's talking to him, what we wanted to do tonight. So I think we're going to combine 3 and 4 together, and with questions where we're at right now on youth leagues, etc. So I'm going to maybe monopolize the time here a little bit, but chime in when you need to. So, Eric, real quick, going down the list of things, just so the public knows, we should be in youth league competition by now. Where are we at with our 3 little leagues, soccer? Where are they at right now?
I'll just go through the list here. I've been speaking to OYO and Fall Creek Little League, or Fall Creek softball, baseball. So they're primarily doing the same thing. They've canceled their spring season, so there's nothing active until this summer. They're anticipating travel programs for both their leagues. They will start sometime in June. They'll play July and August, and then start their regular fall league in August and go through November. Speaking of OYO, they're not going to host any tournaments during the travel program.
Correct.
So they realize that they'll still have to provide social distancing and other amenities during that Lawrence Park baseball will not have a season this year.
Okay.
Virgil, is still working with the football group, and they hope to start conditioning in July. And a lot of theirs will, again, depend on where we are with regards to social distancing and things.
Is there a drop dead date when I'll use OYO or Fall Creek with Travel League and whatever they may do they have in place, and I'm borrowing from youth leagues from around here about other than social distancing, PPE wearing that I know up there at Grand Park, they're talking about youth leagues. They're not mandating, but they're advising that they wear, masks and the like.
And I would assume that OYO and Fall Creek will do that also. I haven't spoken to them directly about it because it hasn't, they're just waiting for the open date.
Right.
When they open up, then there'll be certain restrictions, I'm sure, that they'll place on their parents, and more so the parents than the children participating, I would assume.
And I think we need to start working now. I know it's May. There's going to be a financial impact on youth leagues. And, there's a financial impact when I'll have a budget question in general, but specifically for our youth leagues, be it soccer, youth baseball. I think we need to start gathering now, so maybe in September we understand what type of financial impacts that these leagues have suffered. I know concessions is a big deal. Sign-ups are one thing. Participation money's one thing that they collect. We kind of base what we charge them on that. But I think by September we need to kind of get a financial impact that they're feeling and the like.
Okay. The only other thing that I have talked to the FC Pride group about, they canceled their spring league or their spring season. Their travel tryouts will be on June 14th if that date is amenable.
And that's travel and that's are they still trying to host tournaments?
They will. The hosting of tournaments won't happen until later on in the fall.
In the fall, okay.
The date is their fall tournament in the end of September. We don't know if they'll be able to have that or not.
Understand.
And they're hopefully going to host all their tryouts on their new field out at Veterans Park. So.
And I was going to ask you about that. They do have a new field out there at Veterans Park.
They were supposed to lay the surfacing today. I don't know if they've got it done.
Okay.
So.
All right. Members of the board, any questions to Eric concerning that topic, youth sports leagues?
No.
All right, being none, Eric, where are we at on projects and the like within the department? And once more, I want to give a shout out. RJ, I'm very biased towards this department, having worked for it for years, and I know what they do on a limited budget. I want to give a shout out to RJ, and cannot believe he just celebrated his 40th wedding anniversary. High five, and he's a grandpa now, so high five.
I had a granddaughter this past week. Really, the only things that I've listed on my listing, which will come to fruition this summer, will be the Harmon Way project. The city did receive a $1 million grant from the federal government. I think it's
Good.
I had to cross that off my list here. That's a high five, but I think it's a good test. People are going to realize $1 million in road improvements really doesn't go real far. I mean,
projects, and Harmon Way is one.
Yeah, that's a good. I hope folks realize that.
We hope to start that sometime in June and then complete it. Should take about 3 to 4 weeks, but
That's tremendous. Good.
great. And then wanted to mention the cultural campus too. The did have our meeting last week. The theater interiors completed, from my understanding. They're still working on getting the plan approval for the exterior new construction portion of the building, so
And that is to,
through the Reuse Authority, I believe.
and that is for the current band building, correct?
Correct. It's the restroom extension and others. And then the movement of the communication building will take place sometime in June and July. That's the building they're moving onto the campus from off Lot and Loop. And then, so they hope to have it completed sometime midsummer 2021.
Kind of a tie-in of two topics there, Eric. Where are we at with the farmers markets? As noted, they're allowed to function, and Fridays at the Fort.
Fridays at the Fort has been canceled for the year.
Okay.
The farmers market will start in June, but it'll just be a simple in and out. We're not going to provide any trash cans or staging. It's just a marketplace, so people can go in, buy the product, and move.
Will there be PPE requirements or?
It's whatever is required of the vendors, and I'm sure they'll probably all wear masks.
Okay.
And
And these begin
I believe it starts 1st of June.
1st of June. Okay, make note of that. And on top of that, with our celebrations and festivals, our 4th of July update and why, and transition to what we hope to do later in the year.
The July 4th celebration has been canceled, but the mayor, along with his administration, are planning a Labor Day celebration, and they're looking to show workforce appreciation. So not only the first responders,
Right.
but also the Kroger workers, the truck drivers, everybody that's stayed and worked through this pandemic are going to be invited, and it'll be on the 5th of September at Community Park. Bands and beer wagon and food and
The big F word, fireworks.
fireworks.
Yes.
And depending on what social
Right.
distancing provisions we have to abide by. But the park's a big location, so we can spread out
And it is Kentucky Derby weekend too, so, and I want to give a shout out to Mayor Collier and you and folks around, for, the wherewithal. It is whenever schools start. Maybe they'll start August 1st, maybe they won't, but September, I thought it was great when you came to me that it was being kicked around. So I want to give Mayor Steve a big high five for that. It might be a great, hopefully, a nice little respite from what folks emotionally have gone through. So, just a couple other things here. Eric, we had our first master plan meeting. Where are we at with that, and where are we going from there?
I received an invoice today, so I know.
They weren't.
Charging us for it. To be truthfully honest, I don't remember what the next date was, but it's fairly.
That's why I'm asking, because I don't know. It's in June. Yes.
And it probably more than likely will be another virtual meeting, I would
Okay.
assume, unless things
Changed drastically.
together, and we'll just have to wait and see, but we'll have a lot more specific information.
And just for public consumption here, it is a broad cross-section of the city of Lawrence community. From the government entities, from this department, myself, the arts with Judy, community advocates that take care of elements in our various sectors in the community. It's a broad cross-section. And I think it's money well spent, because I think this is, all my years working in the department, this is our most important delving into a master plan going forward. I guess the last thing for me, Eric, real quick, where are we at with current budget expenditures? I'm going to tell you several budget expenditures, cancellations. We didn't have a softball season rentals. Dee, I know you work hard to get them rented, and now you're doing the opposite. And I'll be honest, I know we were looking to put on another full-time person. How are we being impacted? Go.
Well, actually, the employee started last week.
Oh, okay, wow, good.
Himself, he's a young gentleman that lives here in Lawrence, young family man, got 2 children.
Good.
He started last week, and he's getting immersed with a lot of new information, I'm sure. So that part of the budget is fine, and in all reality, we haven't spent much money this year.
It's gonna, yep,
In there to do things.
knock on wood, good.
The unfortunate side, we've lost quite a bit of revenue on the non-reverting side with our rentals. To date, Dina's returned about $19,000 in shelter reservations.
And that runs all the way up through
It's through the end of June right now.
end of June now, okay. Wow.
And
So in reality, that bloodletting probably isn't going to let up.
no, probably
Yep.
not for a while.
Yep,
And then roughly $10,000 on revenues we didn't receive or didn't collect.
right,
Yeah, I would say a grand total of probably close to $30,000
okay.
lost on the revenue, on the rental side. $15,000 for spring adult soccer or softball. at,
Softball.
Alexander Park. Anywhere from 8 to 10,000 on the adult soccer that we provide at Community Park, and roughly 3,000 for the Gaelic
Okay.
Association. They haven't had any games yet.
And to let everybody know, return to normalcy of collecting certain fees and whatever, I'm kicking this out at least probably through September. I'm just throwing it out there, because we probably won't collect adult soccer fees. Now, folks that have it rented through September, October, we have not, they're still in.
No,
Okay,
actually, we've got,
okay.
Have a lot canceling now.
Oh, that was going to be my next thing, Steve, and that's what I was thinking. I was going to say, are people, okay.
They're
And-
canceling all through in September and stuff because they don't have the money
Right.
to do it.
That was going to be my, yep,
there's family reunions and the like that have to get airfare and that sort of thing.
understand.
We're honoring any this year.
Correct.
We can backfill some dates later on, we certainly will.
Okay.
So we're hopeful that this thing eases up and we get some people in. But again, the budget is secure and
Okay. Colleagues on the board, do you have any questions for Eric here?
No.
Yeah, I got one question. The Harmon Way project,
yeah.
how about parking lots? Anything on that?
If that's the case, Tom will do that out of our general budget. So if we have some monies available in the general budget to roll in, the roadway and the parking lots will have to be separate because of the
Okay.
grant process.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah, because the south end of the parking lot there, parallel to Franklin Road's pretty
yes,
rough.
yeah. That one, interesting because the road does go through there, that we might be able to include some of that in the roadway construction,
Okay.
which maybe we can cover with the roadway construction, so.
Good. Very good.
Anyone else? Karen, Helen, any other questions for Mr. Eric?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, not being any, Ms. Dee?
I do have a question for you. We have a lady, she has the Gen Park reserved for June 13th.
Huh?
It's an open house. She's wanting to know if she can still have it.
June 13th, we have a renter that wants to have an open house it's a graduation open house, isn't it? And my only,
Okay,
we're 25 people now, or
Right.
will be by that date.
is it 25 or 25 to 100?
Bring the state with me, so. We were going to wait until the July date when it goes to 250, so we know that we are, that we're covered with all of our buildings.
I'm going to play it safe. I know what the regulation is. I don't want to, because we are in a public forum. It's out there. I'd even go as far, and say it here. I would go as far if she's willing to wait till the July date. I would possibly waive her fees even if she's willing to wait till we get a clearance. This is me speaking, but if we can get that, whatever phase 3 or 4 that is, clearance in July, if she's willing to wait, be patient, I am in favor of waiving the fee if she's willing to wait.
The only thing is, we have a lot of reservations already for July.
Even for,
And I'm concerned if we open it up for one group, then, and
other people's will too.
what are we doing with regards to?
I'm going to be blunt. I don't want to be the maverick here. I think if groups up to 25 are permitted, once more, it goes back to what you and I talked about, Eric, who's going to be the counter.
Yeah.
And I know we have our law enforcement folks, the last thing they want to do, and our city cops are the best, the last thing they want to do is walk in and that's not what they're out there for. City of Lawrence cops are family folks also. Let's chat about that. I don't want our policemen to be in that role, and I don't want you in that role, or RJ, or whoever's on duty. I don't want them in that. I don't want anyone to be in the role of counting heads here. And I don't want to. We're going to have a virtual graduation on June 2nd in Lawrence Township for the high schools, and then kind of a very quarantined July 28th graduation at Lawrence North at the football field. So I understand what these folks are feeling. So we'll chat.
Okay.
Anything else for go to the cause, folks? All right. Well, Tom, Karen, Helen, let's stay healthy, stay well, and eventually we'll get to see each other's pretty faces in person.
All right.
Okay.
All right. We're adjourned.